What's good, y'all? Shagamakai. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every subscriber helps. Over here on the channel, we make daily NBA content. So if you enjoy the NBA as much as I do, please subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about the Toronto Raptors this season and what I think are some of their issues in the season. So this season, the Toronto Raptors have gone off to, a poor start, obviously. They're 0-3, and they playing the Knicks right now. They're probably going to win that one because, it's the Knicks. But the last time I was watching that game, it was closer than it should have been. And that's really been the story of this year for the Toronto Raptors. Because game one, they playing the Pelicans, is closer than it should be. Game two, they playing the Spurs, closer than it should be. And then last game, they lost to the 76ers. I'm not going to blame them for that. It's the 76ers. But when you really look at this Toronto team's offensive personnel, they don't have that one guy who can go get you a bucket whenever you need it. Of course, they have scorers that, Kyle Lowry can score, Pascal can score, Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet can score, you know what I'm saying? They do have scorers there, but they don't have that one guy who you can just give the ball to and say, go shoot a shot, go get to the rim efficiently. Like, they don't really have that one guy. Of course, they have guys who can do that, like I just said, but they don't have that over-the-top superstar guy. And that's what I think they're, really missing right now, because Kawhi for them was that guy. Kawhi was the guy. You give the ball to him, he's going to the mid-range. You know he's going to make a mid-range shot. But this year, when you have Pascal Siakam as your number one guy, and, I've been seeing a lot of Pascal Siakam slander. I don't really think he deserves that slander because it's Pascal Siakam. He's a great player, All-NBA player. I think it was All-NBA third team or something like that, maybe second team. But great defensive player. He's great in transition. He can, does that famous Smith move. He does it a lot, but it's effective. He can knock down threes. He can knock down mid-ranges, but he's just not number one option worthy. And it's not really his fault that Kawhi left the free agency and, that they had to transition him to being number one. Because last season, it was going well. Last season before the All-Star break, Pascal Siakam was having, another All-Star year. But the whole COVID thing happened and they had to shut everything down, so that slowed it down. Then, transitioning to the bubble really slowed Pascal down. But yeah, that's last year's stuff. This year, the story of the Raptors this year is that when Kyle Lowry sits down, the offense becomes stagnant. There's no playmaker. There's nobody who can, get them through their actions, get them through their sets. There's nobody to, make a play. Because, when you have Fred VanVleet coming off the bench for Kyle Lowry. I don't know if he comes off the bench, actually. But basically, when Fred VanVleet is on the floor and Kyle Lowry is not on the floor, Fred VanVleet is not a playmaker. He's not a passer. He's a score first, 3-and-D guard kind of dude. He's going to shoot his shots, which he's not, doing that amazingly this year. And another thing that the Raptors need to focus on, Pascal Siakam is really struggling this year. He's averaging 18.7 points. But the big issue, the efficiency. He's shooting 39% from the field and 33% from three. The three-point percentage is fine, but 39% from the field, that's ridiculous. That's unacceptable. I think his true shooting percentage this year is 48%. That's painful. The only guy that have plus in the plus minus, box score thing, the only guys who are on the positive side of that is Kyle Lowry and Alex Len. Everybody else is negative, -2, -8, -11. You cannot, win games like that, you know what I'm saying? Because that means when those guys are on the floor, the Raptors are getting killed. And, they downgraded from Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol to having to run, OG Anunoby and Aaron Baines and bring Alex Len off the bench. OG Anunoby is one of the best defenders in the NBA. But Aaron Baines is, going from Marc Gasol to Aaron Baines is not the best thing in the world, Obviously, you're going to get worse with that. But a big thing that Marc Gasol added to the Raptors team, when Kyle Lowry sat down, he could make for the Raptors. He could, get the ball in a high post. He can pass to the guys. He was a good passer for them. And what he's doing now for the Lakers, in the half-court set. In transition, I think the Raptors are just fine. But when it comes to the half-court, slowing down and really having to go, get a good shot, that's where the Raptors really struggle. So, here's praying for, a James Harden trade there or some sort of move there that gets them, the superstar that they desperately need. But I'm not going to sit, be one of those YouTube guys and say, oh, the Toronto Raptors are frauds, Pascal sucks, Kyle Lowry's not a star. Like, the Toronto Raptors are going to make the playoffs, obviously. But for people to, pretend like they're just some terrible, horrible franchise team and that they're not making the playoffs now. It's the same thing people are doing with the Wizards, but the Wizards, 0-5. Toronto Raptors probably going to be 1-3 after tonight. They still going to make the playoffs, but I don't know how far they're going to make it in the playoffs. Because everybody's used to, Toronto making their, annual deep run in the playoffs. They go to the second round, go to the third round. But this year, it's not looking like, when the team locks in on them in the playoffs, like they're going to have enough offensively for them to, make it far in the playoffs this year. And neither should we expect them to, contend for a championship this year. But they are definitely a lock for the playoffs. I don't think anybody in the East is going to... I don't think any of the bottom East teams are better than the Toronto Raptors. And Toronto Raptors, they should not even be the bottom of the East. They're like a 4 seed, 5th seed kind of team. But Pascal Siakam needs to wake up, get that efficiency up. Fran VanVleet has not been amazing. OG Anunoby has been, pretty solid, 11 points. Averaging 11 points on good efficiency. He's been pretty solid. The rookie Malachi Flynn, he's not getting a lot of burn because, we saw him in the preseason. And I see on Twitter all the Raptors fans going crazy. But he hasn't really gotten a lot of playing time, so I would like to see him get some more minutes. I think he could be, the playmaker off the bench that they desperately need when Kyle Lowry sits. But other than that, that's really all my takes on the Toronto Raptors. If you're a Toronto Raptors fan or NBA fan at all, let me know what you think about them in the comments. And if you say at the end of this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.